We got Jakub Wikłacz and Patryk Surdyn. This fight is a bantamweight fight. Jakub Wikłacz, only 24.5 years old, gonna have a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage in the fight. Patryk Surdyn, only one loss as a professional MMA fighter at the Damian Stasic. He is a little bit of an older fighter than Jakub Wikłacz, but not too old. There's not gonna be an age advantage for either fighter in the fight. But Jakub Wikłacz and Patryk Surdyn both coming off of losses in their last fight. But Jakub Wikłacz in his last loss to Sebastian Percy got knocked out in the 3rd round, but to be honest, it was a pretty close fight. It was 1-1 in the 1st and 2nd round, but obviously in the 3rd round, he ended up getting knocked out with punches to the body. Before that, was doing amazing. 1st round submission, 2nd round submission, 1st round submission, 2nd round submission, 1st round submission, and a decision win over, guess what, Sebastian Percy who he ended up just losing to. So far, he's 1-1 with the current KSW Bantamweight champion. Really, really good grappling from Jakub Wikłacz. I mean, he has 8 submission wins and 2 decision wins. I mean, if you watch that fight with Sebastian Percy, either fight, he was doing really, really good in both of them. Really even fights in both fights that he had with Sebastian Percy. But Patryk Surdyn, never count this man out. 5 wins and 1 loss. Also has some pretty good grappling, but if the fight stays on the ground, I don't care if you have 2 submissions. I don't care if you're a pretty good grappler. Like Patryk Surdyn is, I mean, if you're fighting Jakub Wikłacz, you're not going to have that grappling or wrestling advantage, so he's going to want to keep the fight on the feet, because, I mean, if the fight goes to the ground, he's gonna get submitted, or he's gonna lose the fight by unanimous decision, so he's gonna try to keep that one on the feet. And in the striking game, the fight is very, very neck and neck. I honestly do not know who's gonna have the advantage in the fight, because Patryk Surdyn has a little bit more power in the striking game, there's a little bit more speed, but there is that height and reach advantage that Jakub Wikłacz will have in the striking game, but considering the wrestling and grappling advantage that Jakub Wikłacz will have, I think the striking will be even, but that advantages in the grappling and wrestling game will be the key factor for Jakub Wikłacz to win the fight. So I think Jakub Wikłacz will get a takedown in every single one of the rounds, taken down over and over and over again, dominate the fight on the ground, go for some submissions. I think he possibly could get a submission here. If he would get the submission in the fight, I would think it would be in the 2nd round. So my prediction for the first fight on the fight card in a bantamweight fight, I have Jakub Wikłacz winning the fight by 2nd round submission or winning the fight by 30-26 unanimous decision in a dominant grappling and wrestling fight right there. I mean, Jakub Wikłacz is an absolute beast. If he wins this fight and then wins one more fight, who knows? They could set up that trilogy fight with Sebastian Percy. I don't really know. That could be a really, really good fight right there. They're already 1-1 in their trilogy so far. But I definitely have Jakub Wikłacz winning the fight by 2nd round submission.